Chad Eckert. That's not Eric Martins. This is the Fantasy Golf Pod. Follow us on Twitter at Fantasy Golf Pod. It's Sunday. What is it, March 21st? 22nd. There's no sports. There's no names to click. But, hey, we're still here. Cracking beers. And I started an interview series, okay? I'm sharpening my skills. I'm putting people in front of me that know more than me, and I'm asking them things. And tonight, we've got somebody that's already been on, that's already said his name and his stuff to us, his names before. Jeff Nagel, Nagels Bagels, at Nagels Bagels on Twitter from the Wednesday Periscopes. Let's go. Bagels is here, baby. The map and all. What up, dude?
Hey, Chad. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm awesome. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate you coming back onto the pod, which is great. First of all.
For a long time.
Yeah. But, dude, you've been killing it. What is the thing that you do? You do the Wednesday night Periscopes. If you're not watching that, what's wrong with you? Obviously, that's what we do. We finish our week off, study and look at things. Get to Wednesday, watch Bagels. We all kind of do that. That's our routine. What is it? What do you do on Wednesday nights? And what if we're not watching? Should we do that?
If you're not watching, you should be doing that. It's probably a good idea. What do we do on Wednesdays? Well, Wednesday nights, 8 o'clock. You follow me on Twitter at Nagels Bagels. It'll pop up on your feed. And it's basically my own personal adventure through the DraftKings week, whether it be how I did the week before. We run a listener league that's pretty good. Thanks for getting in it finally every once in a while. Appreciate that. So we'll go over the listener league. We'll go over like the winning $100,000 lineup, and then let's see what else do we do. Then we'll just go through the slate. It's a process.
It's another way to get names and reasons. This is the same crap. And people they're on there, they're chatting along. They'll disagree with me, and I'll yell at them, and then they'll yell at me, and we go for about like an hour. And then that's it. And then you finalize your own losers and click those in, and then you go on with your life.
Pick your own
you
losers.
Don't tweet at Bagels until at least Friday afternoon, or maybe even wait till Saturday.
Yeah, after the cut. Yeah, after the cut. Don't tweet me on Thursday.
What are you gonna do, dude? We got no sports. We got coronavirus taking over America. What are you gonna do on Wednesday nights now?
Twitter is a funny place because I thought I was alone in the impact that this sports gambling shutdown has had on me and my life, and the realization that outside of sports, like I don't really contribute much to society. And I'm trying to justify my existence because I don't know.
Whatever, lies. Don't say that. Don't say that. You have like a family. You have a kid. You do things. Where are you in the world right now? In the world of coronavirus, or where are you quarantined at the moment?
I live in North Jersey, right outside I live a couple of minutes from Giant Stadium, MetLife Stadium, whatever you want to call it. Like 15 minutes from New York City. So it's pretty hectic over here in
that's a
New
little
York
bit of
City.
a hotbed, wouldn't you say? Are you a little nervous? Can you even go out of your house?
I am. I work for the post office, and I'm working outside. And
do you have to?
I touch a lot of mailboxes. I touch a lot of doorknobs, and I touch a lot of stuff. So, there's some concern. When it first started, I was just kind of a little cavalier about it. No big deal. But now it's like, well, wait a second. I can't go see my dad, who's 70-something years old. I don't want my kid to get sick. Should I quarantine myself from my own child? It's tough, man. It's been an adjustment. It sucks, but
yeah, it's totally terrible. Like, not only is sports not on, that's terrible, but like death and fear. Like, who wants that?
Yeah,
let's not talk about that. That's not us.
Everything's been screwed up. I'm having weddings being postponed. I'm not the only one, obviously, but it's just. Since we're talking about how it's affecting me, it's just
we don't want. We want to talk about fun stuff and not this terrible thing. Let's talk about you and your love for fantasy golf. Let's talk more about you and your background and you getting into fantasy sports. Did you play fantasy sports since you were young? I know you talk about your dad pretty much weekly. My dad got me into fantasy sports. Is that kind of how you started? Just give us a little bit more of a background on where you came into.
No. My dad wanted me to read, books more so. Ask me who I like for our fantasy football team. No, a couple of buddies of mine back in high school. Now I'm in my low 40s now, so this is back in the 90s, and there was pre-internet, so it was more of the rotisserie style end of season type numbers that we were using. How many home runs you hit? Yeah, I played some fantasy baseball, fantasy basketball with a couple of buddies, and I kind of took that with me into college when the internet started, and I started playing on this site called Small World. And but as far as the golf goes, that was kind of I kind of blame like Pat Mayo and Jeff Feinberg for that, because I've always been a golf fan. My dad loved the Masters, and that was so. But I was just a casual golf fan back in the day, pre-Tiger. And then once Tiger came on the scene and everything else, now I'm I'm not like a degenerate gambler, but I like to have action. All right.
Sure.
I like to have action. So I'm always got my hand in something. And the guy who runs this great survivor pool that I've been in for 20-something years, one day he asked me if I was into golf at all. And I'm like, yeah, I like golf. I'm into the Masters. He's like, well, I got a guy who runs a Masters pool. Now this is like 2006, 2007. I'm like, all right, I'll get in the Masters pool. So then I was getting more involved then. It's like, all right, I'll be in a Masters pool, pick a couple of guys, whatever. But then he started a one and done pool. Now this is 3-4 years ago. And It started with the waste management. And I'm like, I don't know anything about, like, I know enough, but who am I going to pick in the waste management? I need background. So I did a Google search, and that's how I came across Pat Mayo and Jeff Feinberg doing this show. And I think it was one of the first, this is the same year that they started. So I basically been listening to them since their first or second show. And that was the whole thing.
Now, was that the year that they had Willett, or was that the year before?
That was the same. Yeah, that was the year.
Wow.
So whatever year that was.
So then you're like, these guys are freaking geniuses.
Well, I didn't bet Willett. I'm like, I never heard of Danny Willett. I wasn't into it that much back then. I listened to the show because I needed to come up with a one and done guy for the waste management. Because now all of a sudden I'm betting on the waste management.
Not just the Masters. Okay.
Yeah, because the Masters pool guy got me into this one and done pool, which I'm like, oh, this is cool. I like this.
So then it wasn't even about DFS necessarily. It was just
this was
a name.
Well, I wasn't playing on DraftKings. Like, this is how I got into it. So then I'm listening to Pat and Jeff every week, and then I'm listening to Pat's other show, his DraftKings show, and I'm like, with DraftKings, what the hell? I'm like, you know what? I really shouldn't get involved in that. Like, I gotta like pop, I gotta pump the brakes on this whole degenerate thing. I got money in March Madness, and I got money on the Kentucky Derby, and I got money in baseball, and I gotta stop at some point, Sure. But what I did was I basically eliminated baseball from my life, and I curtailed other things, and I'm like, let me try this DraftKings thing. And then once Gup's Corner started, once I was in that one and done, and the Gup's Corner started their Gup Cup and the weekly contests, and I was locked in, man. Once I made that first lineup, I was locked in. What was that? I'm sorry.
No, so you were hooked on it. Like, you kind of finally you found the FS. That's when you make your 6 golfers. You start figuring it out. So then you just start periscoping one day, or what?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because after a year or two, I just kind of thought it would be cool. What if I documented this?
Sure.
There's not really a show. Listen, anything I say here tonight, this is not a shot at anybody else's show or their content or anything that they put out there, because I take it all in and I enjoy what everybody does. So I am not taking shots at anyone.
Different strokes for different folks. There's flavors for everyone.
Yeah. So I just thought that there was a market for a one lineup type show.
Okay.
Where because I just felt I kept hearing like the same kind of thing over and over. And I'm like, yeah, that's great, but there's got to be a different way to look at these things. So, because I would hear these things and I'd be arguing with a guy on the podcast saying, why do you keep saying this about Tony Finau? Why aren't you considering this? Okay. And I'd hear the same thing on like 2 or 3 shows. I'm not taking shots at Tony Finau, just picking a name out of thin air.
No, exactly.
But just any golfer, like I'd hear something, I'm like, there are things people aren't considering. There are things that aren't being said. There's a combination of events in my life that just led me to be like, you know what? I'm going to start something. I'm going to talk about the one and done and my one and done strategy for that week. And I'm going to build a lineup and how I got to that lineup. And I'm going to fade some names that everybody's taken. And it just kind of, and nobody was listening. I was talking to nobody.
But you're like, you admit you're 40 something. Like I don't even know Periscope. I'm 30. I'm mid 30s. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I barely know what I'm doing here. We talked about that. We try to get the sound to work. We don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
So then you're like, I'm doing Periscope. Do you even know what you're doing? Are you kind of just making it up as you go along? Are you like, holy cow, the views? Like, are you learning things? Or like, how fun is that, right?
Well, one of the people I really like and I listen to every week is Matt Wiley, who does the Golflandia podcast. Now, before he started doing that podcast, he did a Wednesday night Periscope where he turned on his phone, whether he was in the car or he was at his desk, and a picture of Patrick Cantlay behind him, and people would come on and say, hey, what do you think of this guy this week? And he would go on for like 45 minutes and he'd give his thoughts, and I always just like the way he handled things.
So and I'm using Periscope. I know I've seen it. I'm going to try it. That's kind of where it came.
Well, I had the thought to maybe do a podcast, but I didn't have the equipment, and I just, for whatever reason, I just didn't feel comfortable with that. I like the aspect of being able to interact with people.
Yeah, throw your phone up, throw it on, start going.
Yeah, and I have a chat, and people bounce things off me, and I get to, people like getting me fired up, and part of the show is me yelling at people about something. These guys are they're my internet friends. It's all good. I don't really get mad at anybody. But it's so when Wiley stopped doing that Wednesday night Periscope and then started doing his podcast, it kind of left the door open. Because if he kept doing that thing, I probably wouldn't have done that. Because I didn't want to.
You're competing with him at that point. Yeah.
I don't want to feel like I was copying anybody.
Sure.
It was more inspirational than copying.
Totally.
Because at the same time, I'm sorry. I talk. I'm sorry.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I say that totally because we use like tour junkies. We just happen to kind of follow the same pattern of what they did. Like we're just guys drinking beers, they're guys having cocktails, like kind of thing. You just copy them, but you don't really know you're doing it. You kind of like, it's Wiley's like a perfect person to copy, obviously.
Well, one of the things
proven the theory out, like it's working. Like clearly you're getting views, you're getting recognition. It's working. So you proved that there is a demand for a one lineup guy talking, and your shtick is great, dude, because you do interact and you do make people feel like this could be the first time I've ever been in this chat room, and he's going to acknowledge me, and that makes you different, and that's what is endearing about you.
Well, I like to think that one of the advantages of the show is that the audience has a voice as well. They can put their picks out there, and we can listen to Pat and Jeff or Kenny Kim, but they don't have a chance. They can send them
one way,
but they're not interacting per se. Not that.
Okay, so let's talk about now. You've picked names. You've done pretty well. We can talk about the story of the crash and then the cash at one point last summer. I think you did. Was it? Yeah. Did you crash first, then you cashed, or did you cash?
I crashed first and then I cashed. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So okay, explain that. That was a decent haul. That got some serious money back.
I did. Yeah, I had a nice 4-figure week in combination with I finished third in the Gup Cup for over the course of the season. So that bumped up my total. Yeah.
So explain it. You were driving around and you got into a car accident. This is like on a Wednesday, and then the next week,
on a Wednesday night after my show for the Northern Trust, which was
What
here.
did you do?
Jersey
Did you screw up and hit somebody? Was it your fault?
No, I got nailed, dude. Dude, I got
Okay.
nailed.
Okay.
Like, it was bad. I got creamed.
So their insurance is probably going to cover this, though. At some point.
Well, yeah, no, it's all been taken. Yeah, but I almost got killed. Like,
Right. Okay. Besides dying, sure.
Besides dying, yes, I survived, and yes, I got a small payout from the insurance company.
Okay, but
yeah,
regardless,
great.
you're like, fuck this shit, and you're dealing with this issue.
I shouldn't have went out. I shouldn't even have gone out that night.
Wasn't it raining?
But I wanted to stay motivated. I didn't want to get lazy. So I went out and I did it, and then I got crushed. So that was the week of the Northern Trust, and
so like towards the end of the season, and then the next week you come back and you have that crash swag. Like people have baby swag, you got married swag, whatever. You had crash swag, and you fucking cashed, dude.
Yeah. Well, the week I had, it was 2 weeks later.
Okay.
I was just looking at it before because the Northern Trust, Xander missed the cut and hurt my 6 out of 6. That killed me. But then the following week, I had a decent week. I guess with the BMW, I had Justin Thomas that week, and then the Tour Championship, I had Rory, I had Xander, I had the top 3 guys, and yeah, I did well. I jumped up to 3rd in the Gulf Cup. I won my listener league. I won Wiley's listener league.
And you got to talk to Wiley.
Yeah, and then I got to be on Wiley's show. But I didn't get to do my show after I had such a great week.
I told you to do your show. Didn't I not?
I wasn't going to do it just to.
You could have had a victory lap brag fest. And we would all loved it. We'd have chatted in there. We'd have been like, hell yes. One of us. One of us.
It was a good capper to the season. It was a good year. Good year.
So then you've won. You're a guy who says stuff, and you're hashtag expert maybe. Then what's your process like each week? Do you do the same I know you, but maybe somebody doesn't know how you play. Tell us, what do you do each week on DraftKings?
Well, I have a couple. That's very complicated. It is because like I have a process to get my one and done pick. I got my process to build a lineup, but then I also have a process to prepare for the show. So I have to cram all this in on a Monday.
While you're like working, right?
Yeah.
While you're delivering people's mail? Are you just like
multitasking? Yeah, it's one take after another. Every house, I got a different take. Yeah, so it's basically I use Mike Miller's spreadsheet, which is a great tool that's out there for everybody to use. I use that. I'll use Rob Bolton's power rankings, which are great. I send those to my dad, and that's the only thing that he looks at when he makes his pick. I'll take in a couple of different columns or a couple of blogs. Previews the guys are right. My friend Joe over at Rotoballer and him and Spencer, those guys do a great job putting stuff together. And then the podcast that I listen to. I'll listen to Pat and Jeff, and I'll listen to Kenny Kim. I listen to Gup. Rick Gaiman's got a great numbers-based podcast. It's pretty good that I started listening to this year. I don't want to leave anybody out, but I take in as much content as I can over those 2 days, and I'll change my lineup a million times, and I'm still trying to figure it out, man. I'm still trying to figure out
your lineup, singular. Yes. You're the guy that plays 6 guys. That's it.
Yeah.
Now,
And
I wanted to talk to you about being a one lineup guy and choosing just 6 people. Do you what? No. Convince me, because you know what I do. I do 21 names, 21 lineups, $21. Convince me to just go to the one lineup thing. Why is that better? Why should I change to be a one lineup guy? Convince me to be a one lineup guy.
You shouldn't change. You should do whatever you're comfortable with. If you want to take 21 chances at it, and you think that's your best chance to win, and that's what you want to do, and you don't want to die on any hills, and you don't want to play with any guts or gusto, that's on you. You have to.
I knew this was coming.
Yeah. I like to make choices. I like to make the hard choices. I don't like to be stuck between 3 guys in the $8,000 range and say, you know what? I'll just play 3 lineups and I'll put each one of them in there. That's not a challenge. That's not impressive. That doesn't impress me. I wanted to find the guy that is going to perform.
You've had success doing this. Like, it's clear. Like, because the way you craft your lineup is the right way to craft your one lineup. You're not, I'm making one lineup and I'm going to use all the guys that everybody's using. Like, you don't do that. You are the opposite.
No, I played one lineup. I played it in every contest, the same lineup.
But you are using your one lineup, you're not using massive chalk on every single spot in the 6 roster spots. You're doing unique players. Your perspective is to say, if I'm going with one lineup, I can't be duplicated, right?
Well, all right. I don't want to confuse the audience because that's not really the reason why that would happen. I'm not adverse to playing a 20% guy if I'm convinced that he's going to finish in the top 5. What I am afraid of, or what I do steer away from, is when I hear the same like $7,800 guy on every show, and he's everybody's sleeper and he's everybody's pick. Now his ownership, it might only be 14% or 23%. That doesn't really matter. This is my theory. This is what I base a lot of this on. It's really hard to pick a winner of a golf tournament. It's really hard to pick somebody to finish in the top 5. It's not easy. And the percentage of doing that, of picking, let's just say just picking a winner over the course of 35 tournaments. If you're having a great year, how many are you going to get? You get 6, 7?
Maybe not even 2, 3.
If you're lucky, yeah. So that means the 28 other tournaments, you're not picking a winner.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't understand? That's the math that I use. Now, it could be faulty. It might not be fun. But if I hear everybody picking the same guy, like, that guy's screwed. We're all the kiss of death. It's not exclusive to one person. So
exactly.
I try to I play the percentages, and it's more of a feel thing when it comes to.
You're quite exclusive to one name out there. You have a little bit of a. Are you the president of the Xander Schauffele fan club?
I am. I dare anybody to come at me to try to make that title.
Why do you love it? Let's talk about that. Where did you get this love for him? He's kind of new relatively to the tournament, to Pro Tour. Yeah. He's like 26 or whatever. Did you follow him from his first tournament? You like his college? What's going on? How do you love Xander so much?
Well, it's really, again, tough questions, man. Tough questions.
Get you.
I just like the way he carries himself. You know, he's very much under the radar type of guy. Now, when there are weeks where everybody's picking him, that's when I kind of know he's in trouble. Just like we talked about. You know, once it's a Xander week, it's like, shit, get off my island. You're screwing him. It's not my fault. But when people are like forgetting about him, that's when it's like, yeah, this is it. I really liked him this week at the Players. I don't know. The origin of it, it's really goes back to the U.S. Open. I don't like when these guys come up and they get super hyped. Like, oh, he's the next big thing before they actually ever do anything. But, so I heard about Xander. Even after he won and then he won again, I was just like, we'll see. But then I was at Shinnecock for the U.S. Open. And I saw him pop his name into the top 10 on the leaderboard. I'm like, fuck, man, this guy's Xander again. U.S. Open. This golf course is freaking hard. And he's there. He's got guts. And that was pretty much like, I'm going to start paying attention to this guy. And then.
Well, you got to pick a brand kind of too. It's like a little bit of a shtick. As much as you don't, or as you like Xander, you also don't like other golfers.
That's true. No, there's a couple I don't like. There's a couple.
What's the deal? You're just against Rahm. You're a Rahm hater.
See, this is something that gets a little taken out of context.
Okay, explain.
I'll try.
It's hard to hate the third-ranked golfer in the world. You don't hate the
listen,
third-ranked golfer in the world. We know this. I get where you're coming from. And I can defend you. I know I kind of get – because how many wins does he have? Right? Are you know what I mean kind of thing?
No.
Okay.
It's not – okay, I don't want to come across as an idiot. So you have somebody here on your show that's going to sit here and tell you Jon Rahm really isn't that good. I don't want to say that because he's good. I'm not saying he's not good. I never said that he wasn't good. All I said was, if you're going to be a top 5 super elite player in the class of Rory and Justin Thomas and Brooks, like you have to accomplish something first. And I haven't seen him accomplish anything. I don't know who has that I haven't seen. Because the only time when I seen him in contention at the Masters, he ended up in the water. When I saw him in contention at the Players, he ended up in the water. When I see him in contention at Torrey, he's in the shrubs. But
they'll argue with you that, but he was in contention. He's been in contention. He's consistently putting up.
So's Matt Kuchar. So's Matt Kuchar. That's why I call him Spanish Kuchar. I'm just
true.
Like, it's just
so, okay. Bagels. What's it gonna take for Bagels to say Jon Rahm, Xander, same level? Is there going to be a point, or is there already a point?
Time out. Stop you right there. They already are on the same level.
I meant more like Rahm and Rory or something. Like, are you ever going to get to that level or not?
I mean, listen, I'm not averse to admitting when I'm wrong. I'm just saying to this point, I haven't.
It'll take the win at a major. You're saying?
Yeah, probably. Or just any tournament where he's coming down the stretch with 4 holes to go. And he doesn't blow up, and
right.
Or
I know I'm in the same boat. I mean, he's kind of having a hothead his whole career, and show me, and then we'll give you the credit. Well, I get what you're saying. I get where you're coming from. Your argument's funny because he's the second-ranked player in the world, and everyone thinks that he's amazing.
Because he wins. He goes over to the Euro Tour and he beats Chase Koepka into a freaking pulp over there. And but when he comes over here and plays Brooks, what?
Are you a fan? Do you play Euro?
No. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Do you follow
if he goes over there and wins this, if he goes over there and he wins the Spanish Open and he wins the what's the other one he won? The Irish Open a couple of times, and he beats up on these European Challenge Tour players, good for him. But that doesn't mean anything. Listen,
he should be first in those fields. He should be second.
There's flaws in the OWGR.
OWGR is a joke. We know this.
Yeah.
Right, sorry to push you on those two subjects, but
no, it's fine. It's fine.
I want to get to back to your Periscope because you have like a cast of characters, and you kind of, and it's fun because you could join, like I said, for the first time, and you could catch right up, and you kind of feel like you're in the know, and at the same time, you have a little FOMO, which brings you back and makes you want to go and watch some more and learn about more of these characters. Who are your characters that you talk about? Your dad each week. He's kind of a Chuck player. You got your brother. You got Charlie. Tell us some of the names of the characters and give them some credit or shout-outs.
Okay. Well,
help us feel involved like we know things about your show.
Yeah, Charlie's a staple. He's always in there running his mouth. He says the same thing over and over again. I haven't met Charlie yet, but, he's my buddy. Charlie's a good guy. My buddy CJ gets involved. Artie, of course, he just watches. He doesn't participate as much, but if somebody's giving me shit, Artie he's like my internet police. He'll report them and he'll take care of it. He's like my bouncer. He makes the banners for me every week. Artie's a good friend of mine.
So your dad, he's a chalk guy. You refer to your father a few times. Like, does he watch this thing or does he not? Does he pay attention?
No, he's into it. He's very predictable. Every once in a while, he'll be a little savvy, but he's always picking somebody who's like 25% old. He's always got somebody that's picked 700 times in the one and done. Like he's just very, very vanilla, my dad. But
now, and your brother, is this your older brother? Is this your younger brother? Who's the brother that's involved?
No, he's my younger. No, I'm the older brother. He's
okay. So he's the one that you just get him involved every once in a while when you need some content, extra human.
My brother?
I don't know, because he's like chatting and stuff, but I saw him once or twice. I've seen him.
Yeah, no, he gets involved. He keeps an eye. He you know, he's one of the few people that's seen every show that I've done. You know, he likes to see how I'm doing. He likes the fact that I started this. He's proud of me, and he gives me good feedback every once in a while. But yeah, now I got him in the one and done this year. Yeah, he plays in the listener league. I think that's the only contest that he plays in. So he'll build a lineup. But I like it because he's new. Like he's learning all the things I learned in my first year.
He believes in course history. Like it's real.
It's like you got to stop playing Zach Johnson, buddy. Like he doesn't know it yet.
He was good once before.
Yeah, like he'll learn. You know, he'll learn the Keegan Bradley lessons. Like he'll.
So now you say you've learned. Let's talk about the learning. Like you play one lineup. What have you learned from forcing yourself to pick 6 guys? Do you ever have like that? I missed that one guy. I chucked him off. Do you ever feel like I need to go to 2 lineups and do 12? Have you ever or do you feel like you're learning a lot?
I'm not going to 2 lineups. I'm not going to 2 lineups.
I'm wondering what you've learned.
No, of course I've missed out on a ton of guys. Last year, the worst of it, last year at Memorial. And what's funny is because I can go back and on the show and I can find the exact point where I said, hey, you know, I really got a good feeling about Nick Taylor this week, but I'm not going to play him. And then he goes and he wins Pebble. Like I said it that show. I love Nick Taylor. And I said it on the show. But of course, did I play him? Of course not. But maybe somebody heard that and said, you know, that's another asset to watching the show on Wednesday. Whenever you hear me fading a guy, not a bad idea to maybe jump on, because I have a lot of second places, a lot of close calls, and a lot of, damn, I should have picked that guy. But yeah, last year at Memorial on the show, I said, because I had, let's just say $16,000 left. And I said, you know, I could go with Cantlay and Scott, but I decided to go with Rory and Finau instead.
No, I remember this,
Yeah. And then Cantlay wins, Adam Scott finished second.
You probably would have won like $1 million. Yeah,
it was unbelievable. It cost me like thousands, that decision. Yeah, it happens. But that you got to pay the freight on that. That just comes with experience. It's golf, man. Comes down to one missed putt. It's a lip out. You get bad breaks. Like what are you gonna do?
Or you get lucky and the guy, instead of going out of bounds, it hits the tent and goes into the fairway. You know?
Extremely lucky. You just have to have everything break for you.
So don't take yourself too seriously and don't like pay for stuff and go all in and think that it's going to lead you to answers. That's kind of
no. I play one lineup. I play in my listener leagues. I put one lineup in the big contest. I play a ton of like 25-cent winner take all, $50 to the winner. I love that. It's my favorite contest.
Yeah.
But you could play for small stakes, but it's all the same. Yeah.
So what's next with you, dude? So you're gonna be chilling for like at least 6-7 more weeks.
Oh God, it's freaking brutal. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Are you gonna play League of Legends on DraftKings?
No. I'm trying to stay away from a lot of this nonsense up there. Like it's only been a week, but it's getting a little tiresome, in my opinion.
Like I'm not simulations and stuff.
Yeah, I can't. I can't.
I'm not betting on those.
I got a stack of like golf magazines here that I could read or whatever. I'll find something else to do. But no, but the golf season, like I was looking for, I was getting the US Opens at Winged Foot over here in New York. But 3 miles away in New Rochelle, they have this huge outbreak. How are they gonna play the US Open there in June? You know?
There's no way.
I was gonna take my dad on Father's Day. I was gonna go with my buddy Artie. We were all gonna go. Like, how's that gonna happen? I don't know.
Yeah.
I have plans to go to the BMW in Chicago in August, but like the FedEx Cup has got to be dead, right? Like I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, there's no way that Masters wants to play in October and then play again in April. I don't believe that. Unless they have to for the economy of Augusta. I don't know.
They'll be fine. Well, the economy of Augusta, yeah. Augusta National itself, I think they got enough money.
But yeah, like
that's
those
another
mom
thing.
And pop shops that just rely on that 1 week a year. They might need it in October.
Okay.
But I don't see them doing that.
I wouldn't mind 2 Masters in 6 months, but
yeah, I don't mind it at all. Couple of Tiger.
I wonder what's going to happen.
Three-peat for Tiger in a matter of 18 months. Let's go.
Chad, I have back in December, I made a bet. I parlayed the Kansas City Chiefs
yes.
to win the Super Bowl. I parlayed them with Brooks to win the Masters to 80-1 and Xander to win the Masters at 175.
Whoa.
And I got the Chiefs, obviously.
So
and now I don't know what's going to happen with those bets. Yeah. Like, if they reschedule it, I don't know if they won't pay me out on the Chiefs.
Because do they cut it down to whatever the Chiefs odds were?
Yeah, if it would just be a straight bet on the Chiefs, which were 8-1 at the time.
It's not bad.
Which, be nice. Dude, I had a great
But not 125.
What's that?
But not 125 to your guy. That's what you want.
No,
really.
But well, if they give me my money, if they pay me out on the Chiefs and then they reschedule, I don't know what they're gonna do. But yeah, when they cancel the players, dude, that was like my best week of the year because I got all my buy-ins back. I got all my bets were canceled.
Actually, yeah, I broke even. It was great.
Yeah. Oh,
I was like all my bubbles were at the very bottom. I was doing terrible.
And I got all my money back from my March Madness pools.
Yes,
so I was rolling in it. Yeah. Like,
people are like talking about they don't have any money. I'm like, well,
yeah, this is great.
They got money because I'm not spending it.
Yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen with my bets. I don't know what's gonna happen with the golf season. It's very listen, I've been having a shit year with making my picks. People are still watching the show. People are spreading it around, and
you're getting good numbers, are you? Like, I don't know the numbers. I don't know. How do you know?
No, it's going great.
Does Periscope give you information like YouTube does?
Yeah, as far as like number of views and everything.
Or I don't know, just stats and things.
Yeah, yeah. I don't really look at that too much. I'll just see like how many views. Now, I don't know I think that if somebody watches for a second, it counts as a view, which is good enough for me. Yeah. I've made friends with Stevie Bamford over in England, and when he retweets the show, like my numbers double.
Oh, seriously?
That guy's the best.
Definitely suck up to them or him, obviously. Yeah. And then what's the end goal of the whole thing? You just want to be on Periscope forever, or what do you want to do?
I don't want to be on Periscope forever.
You can just stop.
It's funny. I never really had an end goal, really.
Right.
I like the fact that I kind of made a name for myself a little bit.
I mean, you were on the Gup Corner freaking podcast, so like it clearly.
I was. Yeah, that was. Yeah.
Somebody saw you.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I try not to. I appreciate what you're saying. I just
no, you've been doing great, and continue to do what you do, and continue just to ramble, do your thing, yell at people, and then all of a sudden answer questions to the people. Everything you do is just all pure, sweet content that I dig. I love. My wife thinks I'm nuts. I'm like, honey, we gotta deal with the bath time around the 7 o'clock start time, because for me it's 7 o'clock. You're 8 o'clock start time and 7 o'clock me. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch as much as I can before I have to pause it and then I restart it. So, I'm in there and out of there and I'm watching the replay. But at the same time, I love your content. My wife even knows who you are. That's why I'm like, I'm doing bagels tonight. This will be fun. I'm going to wear my sweatshirt and drink my beer. It'll be great.
Yeah, I don't know what my end game is. I wanted to I try to set goals at the beginning of each year. But this year has been a total freaking clusterfuck. Like, it's gone. The year is gone.
Yeah, right?
It's March. Yeah. It's terrible.
Well, so I don't know. You will go up with the DFS industry. We're on the same page, you and me. We're trying this stuff out and see what happens. And if the industry takes us somewhere, great.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where it's gonna end up. What I have to do. I'm thinking about maybe doing a YouTube thing.
Yeah, I think you should.
Just to have another platform.
Well, and then I don't know. I mean, yeah. Just take your Periscopes and put them on YouTube.
I don't know how to do that. I have to figure that out. That's like a big
download. Well, we can chat if you need me to help you on YouTube. I don't know. I don't know much, but
I wouldn't know how to do that. So I have to.
DFS Tavern, Anzo, that guy, he knows a lot. Dude, hit him up. He's good. He's going to come on our podcast. I got names lined up for these interviews, dude. This is going to be great. It's going to be fun. It's at least going to be something that maybe people at home are going to be able to take and learn during this downtime.
Well, no, it's a good idea. And the things you were putting out, the last shot to win, the 18th hole, those charts, that was pretty good. That was good content.
That's fun. I was amazed at some of the feedback. It's so fun.
Yeah, that's good. That was very clever.
We'll continue to try to entertain people while they sit on
Yeah.
their phones and scroll.
Yeah, everyone try to stay safe out there, and
Don't
hopefully
mail anything for the next month or so. Give this man a
Dude,
break.
Oh, it's crazy. Everybody's home. What do you think they do when they're home? They're ordering shit. Oh, it's all just.
My wife's
Amazon
ordering stuff.
package.
She's like, "Should I get this?" I'm like, "You realize someone has to put that in a package, bring that here? That's annoying for that person."
No, there's a lot of the package volume has really jumped in the last week, and it's going to be that way for a while, which I guess is good. But yeah, it's not like we're sitting around doing nothing, unfortunately.
And you didn't get a raise? They're not giving you a raise for this?
No, man.
That's bullshit.
No, we get paid. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh,
fine. All right, so we got anything else?
No, I think that's pretty much it, dude. I appreciate you coming on and everything, and we'll be in touch. You can come on anytime. We'll chat with you. We'll see you on Wednesdays. I'm in there. We'll chat with you.
Anytime you want to talk about anything, you let me know. You were the first person to have me on as a guest. I'll never forget that. It was Week of the Travelers last year, and I do appreciate it.
Everything about what you do, it brings me entertainment and value into my life, so I don't care. I love it. I'm going to support you as much as I can.
I appreciate it, man.
So,
all right.
Take care, dude. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming on. Say what up to the fam.
All right, Chad.
Peace
Thank
out.
you.